I had a personal messages from Stephen Fry. He said, "Oh, thank you. It's like I've won a gold Blue Peter badge." And I was like, "This is Stephen Fry." But really, really pleased with how it's turned out. Massively influenced by Martin Creed, who is on there actually, wearing 4 hats. That was my starting point really, was everything is going to be all right, because myself, family, friends and everyone, we're all beside ourselves with anguish at what's happening. And although he may not have actually been saying everything is going to be all right, I thought to have it there with people that are inspirational. Main influence is Bosch and Bruegel and stuff in the way I frame everything, but in terms of collage, I suppose most obvious one is Peter Blake with his Sgt. Pepper's. Everyone always refers to that one when I do it, but you can see why. It's the disparate nature of all the different people involved, the quite crude manner in which it's been put together. So there are definite similarities there, and in the vibrancy, and there is a kind of outsider art element into it where we're not in, my work was never intended for a gallery or anything really. It was done as a personal therapy more than anything. So this is like a really early Coldwar Steve. It's the Fellows of the Royal Society, but they couldn't get everyone in the same room at the same time because they're all scattered all over the world. So much as the way I do is he kind of just brought everyone together in what I guess is what I do. It's photo montage, just because it isn't oil paint on canvas. The message can be just as powerful, and the image can be just as beautiful, especially when you come and have a look at them presented together like this. During the rise of fascism in Germany at that time, there was people like Hartfield that were obviously against fascism and trying to send it up in a... I'm not comparing myself to Hartfield in what I'm doing in the current Brexit environment, but rebelling or protesting against something in this way is very much what I do, in getting people to see the absurdity of the individual and hopefully bring home the message to make them laugh. Obviously, we're not yet anywhere near as desperate times as Hartfield was in, which is a lot braver than what I'm doing. I mean, I could get chucked off Twitter or something, the very worst that can happen. Or Hartfield at that time was doing something that was genuinely probably life-threatening to even mock the Führer in this way. With collage, it's you can with immediacy get that down on what you want to get it across, and that's quite apparent in these pictures. Criminal damage, I suppose, at the time, vandalism almost, are now much prized art pieces. So it's pretty good. You worry about things like copyright and ownership and getting sued by someone, but not prison yet, but I don't know actually now. You got me thinking now. From my childhood, I grew into adulthood in the European Union. I could live and work anywhere in Europe I wanted. There was the 2012 Olympic Games in London, which was diverse, and everything just seemed, Britain was just seemed as such a wonderful, diverse place. But as Harold Parps on his tuba, he reminds us that my children, who are grown up now, perhaps may not have the future that I had. Shouldn't forget that we do still need to stand up to bigotry, racism, intolerance. We do still have to protest peacefully, because I don't want my children's future to be lost. I want it to still exist. So that's the message there, really. To get images out there that perhaps even just a little bit might turn someone's head, make someone think, then I'll have done something that I think is worthwhile.